Hi.
Hi, I'm Heiner and I'm here with Lukas from,
Hi.
how do you spell it
Nice
in
to meet
English?
you.
XAOC?
Uh, it's pronounced house. House, because it's written in
House.
Cyrillic,
House.
so it's like chaos in English, but the pronunciation is house, and then the English devices.
Okay, great. So Lukas from Chaos.
Yeah.
So I have to admit, I didn't get it. So it means chaos,
Yes.
but your modules don't look like chaos at all. They look like really well designed.
Thank you. Thank you. That is what we strive for, but there is some inherent chaos within the Eurorack system. So, and chaotic behavior is very important in music making for us. So, hence the name.
Sure, I read you had one of the newer models. I think it was Oradea, like self-resonating.
Yes, this is a quad resonator. We showed it last year.
Can we hear it?
That would be. We have the new one spiked right now.
Okay.
But we can get back to that later.
Or maybe we just talk about the general philosophy a little bit before you start showing. The new
Okay,
stuff.
sure.
So you have these weird names, and I was like, is it modeled after something that was built somewhere in between? But I read it's different. You tell the story.
No, the whole idea, the working class electronics name comes from the fact that we are from Poland, and we are from the former Eastern Bloc, and the idea is to take advantage of that. So all our modules are named after cities from the former Eastern Bloc, and so at each super booth we have our customers happily pointing to any of these and saying, "My mother was born there," or "I come from Sarajevo.
Oh.
I'm so glad you made it." And this is a bonus. So this is another way to make people
Happy.
just a tiny bit
Comfortable
more
with the
happy.
modules,
Yeah.
okay,
And one interesting thing is that, for example, we have this weird 8-bit Leibniz subsystem, and all these modules, the Dresden, Berlin, Potsdam, Rostock, Jena, and so on and so forth, are named after cities close to from the area where Leibniz was operating. So this just
So there's a little bit of reality and a little bit of fantasy and creativity in it. I read
Yes.
like the year somehow resembles a year where it could have been.
sometimes
in
yes.
in some imagination and by thinking of the sound it makes. That's how you come
Sometimes
up
yes,
with the number.
sometimes no. Right now it's getting a bit difficult because
You already
we
made
have
all the numbers.
almost 50 modules in our lineup, so we are running out of
numbers.
dates. So because we only have the range of from 44 up to 89 available.
But you can always name it 2045 or so, like
But that
we're
would
doing the future sound.
yeah. Hopefully
Obvious
there won't be
marketing
any
concept.
Eastern Bloc then.
Okay, I'm not referring to the Eastern Bloc, I'm just referring to the sound imagination of the module.
Yeah, we will have to figure out something eventually.
Okay, so what do you want to show us?
This year we have 2 new modules.
Okay,
One is in production right now, it will be available next month. And the other is a prototype, but it's so exciting we couldn't help but share it with our modular friends. I'll show you the first one first. It's called Skopje, it's a dual quantizer.
okay.
As you can see, it has a nice Game of Life screensaver. But now let's activate it. It's got 2 separate channels for quantizing your voltage. Input, output, a sine input for modulation of one parameter, of which there are many, and trigger input if you wish to use it with a sequencer. Can we hear it?
Oh, I've turned it on.
So right now, what we hear is Odessa through Lublin, which is a pingable VCA.
So Odessa is the
Odessa is a additive
It's a
VCO.
synthesizer, okay.
Yeah. So Odessa through Lublin, then a bit of delay from Sarajevo, and straight to Praga mixer. But
I love the Praga mixer.
the sequence that we hear comes from, not from a sequencer, it comes from Skopje. What we use is a neat little trick. We use a slow saw wave from one channel of our Batumi LFO.
Batumi is one of the best modulation sources in the whole modular world.
Thank you. And one of the most compact ones.
And there's a new edition, right?
Yes, this is the second one, much more
So
flexible.
it's not to be messed up with any other Batumis.
No. Thank you
Or
for that.
not so-called Batumi.
Yeah. And this slow saw wave cycles through a scale, a channel A. But this scale is special. This scale is a chord. It contains notes from one particular chord.
So 3 tones quantization.
More than 3. It's a more complex chord. I can't remember how many. But within that bank, because each scale resides in a bank, each bank can have up to 100 scales.
Also microtonal?
Yes, we'll get to that in a second. And so now we use the saw wave to cycle through that particular chord. But we use the assign input with a rectangle from the same channel of Batumi. So every time the saw wave completes its cycle, this rectangle signal switches the scale to the next one. And the next scale in the bank is another chord. And so on and so forth. So now we hear a chord progression that we have programmed within a quantizer. And we really don't need a sequencer because Skopje outputs a trigger signal every time the value at the output changes. So Lublin is pinged by Skopje. So this whole sequence, this whole melody comes from the quantizer alone.
Yeah, that's one of the concepts in modular. It's hard to decide what sequencer to use, but
You don't have
at
to.
all.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
If you know what you're doing, you can make do without a sequencer or without any particular module. I will show you another different thing.
So
Now
I'm getting personal again. Do you make any music like this yourself?
yeah.
What
Yeah.
kind of music are you making?
I play with real musicians who play acoustic instruments like drums or double bass, and we form various improvising ensembles. We play with an orchestra or as a duo or as a trio, and then I definitely use our modules mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, this time I'm not with the chairman of say Chaos or
No,
Chaos.
but
he's just he's working as a musician, performer, and
yes, and PR helper. I've been with the company for the last 6 years, but I've been helping the guys at Super Booth for like 8 or 9, I think.
okay.
So I'm not new here.
Yeah. Okay, so
What we hear now is the second channel, which is set to a microtonal scale. But now we use the assign input to utilize a different feature. Now we use a gate, a simple gate, to turn glide on and off. Because as I've said, you don't need a sequencer, because Skopje allows you to set a glide between the quantized notes, so you can have portamento straight from the module, and also you can set the assign input to transpose the voltage. There are 2 modes, one is quantized and one is unquantized, so you can add vibrato, so you can have glide, a melody, and vibrato. On top of that, quantized voltage straight from the quantizer.
But I have to admit, from a musical point of view, I'd like to have the option to every now and then have a little rest or have a little space in the sequence.
Well, this one is I'm not sure where it's coming from. I think it's, let's slow it down a bit. Anyway, Skopje stores all its data on a simple micro SD card. The scale format is very easy, just 7 lines in a text file, so you can make your own scales. There are plenty of ways of dividing your octave into even the tiniest pieces and then picking and choosing which to play. You also have a possibility to limit the quantize range, so you can say quantize only within 1 volt, and then once the incoming voltage crosses the border, it can either be ignored, so no more quantization, or it can wrap around. So you can have a rising voltage and have it play 1 octave over and over again, or 1 chord over and over again. So
Yeah,
all
so
in all,
it's a really
it's a quantizer
it's like
performance,
SADA, which is like an envelope where you can choose thousands of different envelopes. You have a quantizer with a little display that is capable, obviously, of very
Yes.
detailed sorting out the
but it's
quantization. You
so
have-
super easy to use.
Okay.
And I'm glad you mentioned Zadar, because the interface is taken straight from Zadar.
Yeah.
There are no menus here. You just use this button to choose the channel, and
Yeah.
then use the encoder to change the bank, the glide, or the assign input function, and that's it. Nothing more. Everything else, the scales you prepare on your computer, but it's super easy. And if you don't want to, you can use one of ours. And if you don't want to use one of ours, you can use one of the 6,000 Scala scales available on the internet, because Skopje is fully compatible with that format. You can mix and match our scales with Scala scales in the same bank. So
Okay.
very flexible.
Great.
And the second one,
okay.
stop me when you want to, because I can go on
Give me
and
some
on and
sounds,
on.
some different sounds.
Yes. Remember
So-
that first sequence?
Maybe. Yeah.
This is the same sequence going through our second new module.
Ah, nice.
This is Budapest. This is a stereo module with 2 comp filters. They run in parallel, so your signal is split at the input and it goes through one filter and the other at the same time, and then the magic happens. You impose those sounds on one another, and you get a very complex sound. It's a spectral processor, because only with one comp filter you get a very nice complex array of resonant peaks and notches, but when you combine 2 of them, you get an even more complex sound. And there are plenty of modes for these filters which change the way these comp filters are created. There's one that's based on a delay line. There's one that's based on all-pass filters up to 44, so like a phaser, but like a giant phaser. And all the others are...
Yeah, can we do some moves?
Yeah, in a second. Sure. Right now, both these filters can operate at different modes. So each filter is created in a different way. And now this, let's turn off the modulation. Now this one adds harmonics taken from the minor pentatonic scale.
Okay.
But each time you move the slider, it randomly selects a different set of values. So there's always some movement, always something changing around. In other modes you just add upper harmonics. In other you add harmonics that are squeezed close to the root note, so the sound becomes atonal. In other you add all-pass filters for a very spacious spectral sound. And there's quite a lot of things you can do with these controls. You've got 2 internal LFOs. Let's turn them up. These are triangle core LFOs. They can either run independently or they can be synced. with the second one multiplying or dividing the frequency taken from the left one, or they can follow the envelope of the incoming signal. So you can use the audio envelope of the incoming signal as your modulation source, and then the speed control adjusts the decay of the envelope. So there's one way of moving the sound around. You can link the filters, the tuning of the filters. So right now this is the master one, and this control adjusts the second filter. It detunes it with respect to the filter A, but you can tune them completely separately as well. We've got the feedback control, which
so
also
so
completely.
if I go down with the feedback, then I'm getting really close to the original.
Yeah, we
That's
can
the
compare it.
Yeah.
This is the original one. This is the mix control, right?
Yeah.
And you can select different feedback routing.
Yeah.
Each filter can have its own feedback loop, or they can share the feedback loop, or they can be cross-patched. So quite a lot of going on. Everything under CV control, and also you can use. I will demonstrate it here. You can use a gate to switch the modes as well, so even more animation. You can ping the module, so you can use it as a sound source. We like to think of it as some kind of a processing Odessa. Odessa is an additive oscillator, and Budapest lives within the same audio realm, but of course it's much more flexible because everything depends on the input signal you use.
And coming back to some more general topics.
Sure.
The modules are sometimes analog, sometimes digital.
Yeah.
So you have no
no prejudice there.
Preferences.
No, you know, some things are better done in analog. Some things are better or easier or even possible at least within the digital realm. So we always try and pick the best tool for the job. So that's why we have a digital oscillator in Odessa and an analog one in Sofia.
And who does all the beautiful designs?
The designs are done by Martin, one of the founding fathers of the company, and the other ones are Tomek, who's responsible for thinking of the features, for developing the modules, and then there's Maciek, our head engineer, who's responsible for all the technical stuff, for the way everything, all those crazy ideas are implemented. But all of them, together with other members of our team, actually do all the other stuff as well. So
is there like a scene in Poland? You must be something like the place where everyone who is into modular in Poland is attracted to, right? Where are you located?
We are located just outside of Warsaw in Legionowo. A few years back we were based in Warsaw.
And do you do some festivals, or are there some
right now
things
no
going on, or how is the scene, modular
there are things going on.
Okay.
A couple of years back we were involved in trying to animate the scene, to make people come together. We organized a modular meet every couple of months, and then things began to spiral. There were more and more people coming, more and more people using modular, and then these meetings became they weren't that necessary, because the people were already into it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, is anything else you have to say? A new module you said you have 2 new ones.
Yes,
right?
the
Or
Skopje
maybe
is,
the one from the last year.
Last year we had
the feedback module. I really like to hear it briefly.
this is the Oradea-Resonator. You'd have to give me a second to patch it for you, and then we can go back to our talk, please.
Okay.
Oradea has 4 channels of very narrow bandpass filters with very high resonance and high frequency range. Let's start with, this is the original signal.
Yeah.
This is just a saw wave from Berlin. And now this is Oradea. You can adjust the frequencies. You can also add more resonance. Right now,
four in a row, right?
yes, but you can adjust the volume, the amplitude of each of them to sculpt the sound even more.
So you really can adjust the sound by leveling each of the 4 resonant tones.
You can, right now these frequencies are static. We only input an audio signal and listen. But you can modulate them all at the same time, but also each channel has its own frequency input. Also, it's got its own excite input, so we can say ping it with something. Additionally, let's use something more. The percussive sound.
It's nice. Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of flexibility and quite a lot of sounds you can get out of it. You can use it as a sound source as well, of course, but all in all, pretty rewarding as well.
Well, thank you very much. Sorry for troubling you. I just wanted to give some variety because obviously this is capable of so many different sounds.
Thank you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank
it was
you,
a pleasure.
Lukas, for all
Thanks.
your work.
Cheers.
Great presentation.
Thanks.
Thank you.